Hey there friends, Foster the Canadian here, and welcome to Fridays with Foster, where I read your guys' stories and answer questions and whatnot that you guys have sent to me. This is a new series, and I'm not exactly sure what direction this is going to go, and it's all up to you guys, so let me know what you think. I would like to say right off the bat, though, the gameplay you're seeing is from one of my first Capture the Flag games on Halo 4, and, I felt like I was still getting used to it and learning what I need to do in this version of Capture the Flag for Halo. But I thought I did pretty well, and I figured it would fit pretty well with this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay as well as stories. Without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, so right off the bat, I'd just like to say that this story is going to be the exception. I'm going to make every story hereafter 100% anonymous, so I don't shine a big spotlight on you if you've done something questionable that you sent in, or if you are sharing something embarrassing. I don't want to put that on you. I just want to share some stories, have some fun, and make videos for you guys that you'll enjoy. So this is going to be the only story in the entire history of the world that I'm going to put on here that isn't going to be anonymous. It's Fat Greek Boy, PJ, as you may know him. Seeing as it's the first story that I'm doing in the first video, he's a good friend of mine. He gave me permission to use his name and he included it in the story. Let's just go with it. Okay, so then I will tell you a story about my first oil fire. There was a time where I had a minor obsession with bacon. I would eat it with nearly every meal. And when I first started making bacon as a wee PJ, I did not know that water does not mix with hot oil. And immediately after frying one batch of bacon, I immediately dropped the second batch onto the hot grease from the previous batch, and all of a sudden a grand fire erupted from my griddle, and being the inexperienced cook I was, my first instinct was to beat the fire with my spatula. Obviously, this did nothing, and once my father heard my screams of fear, he ran into the kitchen, pants around his ankles, and covered the fire with the lid smothering the fire. That is the only fire I have ever started while cooking. Alright, PJ, need I ask, are there fires that you have started while not cooking? Are you some kind of serial arsonist that we don't know about going around torching buildings? I just found that was a little bit of a weird way to word it at the end there. But, this is classic PJ right here. Trying to make a batch of bacon and causing an eruption, a giant mushroom cloud. I'm picturing him, like, wearing a old-timey chef's outfit, looking like Curly from the Three Stooges here. And, then his father heard his screams and ran into the kitchen, pants around his ankles. He didn't specify that his father was on the toilet. I guess I'm gonna assume that. He rushed into action, didn't have time to pull his pants up. But, I don't know. His father might just, chill that way. I think that, he could probably pull it off. Just hanging out with his, boxers on, pants around his ankles. And, I know that's the way PJ likes to chill. Tells me all the time, Foster, I'm not wearing any pants. And then I have to end the Skype call. But, aside from that, this I figured was the perfect story to start on. You guys may be a little familiar with PJ, and this is, it kind of sets the tone lighthearted, and we're going to keep that up until the final story. So, without any further ado, let's get on to story number 2. Hey, that rhymed. Alright, so one of the most common things that I got as story time were poop stories, and I wanted to include one just because I got so many submissions I figured I had to. And I picked this one because of the way it was worded. I felt that the wording made it worth it to actually put it on here. One note though, I did have to blue out the name. So if for future reference, I want to keep these 100% anonymous, so if you include a name, I'm either going to have to blue it out, or I might just look over it, because I don't want to shine a spotlight, like I said, on people, and really, I'd like to keep everything completely anonymous and just make it about the story and not the person. One day, I was in school, 4th grade, and it was right after lunch. I had the urge to poop, and it wasn't those regular ones. It was one of those horrid poops. I was a shy kid, so I was really, really afraid to ask the teacher for a bathroom pass. But then the kid that sat next to me, who is my best friend until this day, said, "Dude, go poop. Even I can hear your stomach growl." So he raised his hand and said, "He needs a bathroom pass." The teacher was like, he could have said it for himself, but here. I went up and took it and went to the bathroom. I went straight for the toilet at the end, of course. and when I was about to unleash the monster, I heard someone walking in. I tried so hard to hold it in, but one of it slipped out and it just ripped. I farted so loud, then the rest came with it. The toilet in my butt was a battlefield now. Farts coming from the left and the right, all of it from my butt. And then the guy who was in the bathroom was like, "Oh my lordy, are you okay?" I recognized the voice. It was my best friend. Right away I said, "Dude, don't tell anyone about this." He then burst out laughing. I was already embarrassed, so it was hard for me to say, "Be quiet, please," or "Shut up." While this was happening, I was still crapping. 5 to 7 minutes later, I came out of the bathroom and everyone was looking at me like, somebody went number 2. I gave the pass to my teacher and sat down. My best friend asked who won. I laughed and said, "Don't tell anyone." He also laughed loudly and said, "I got you, man." And until this day, he brings it up every now and then. Now that's my story. You can shorten it up if you want. Alright, so, by the way, I really love the way you worded this. I can't say that enough. And I figured, these are relatable things. These are all relatable things, so I figured I'd share a poop story of my own. And no, it's not the time I got horse poop shot into my mouth with a hockey stick. That's a different story. I'll put an annotation up for that video. Alright, so my story is a little different. Let's just say the main difference was you made it to the bathroom. So, it's in kindergarten, and we're playing PE in the gym, and we're doing that parachute game. I'm pretty sure most schools had it, where you had that big, like, rainbow parachute, and you'd lift it up, and you'd learn about, I don't know, air, and wind and whatnot. Yeah, just weird things. It was fun. You lift up the parachute, you throw it around. Good time, right? Well, it was while we were playing that game, I realized, okay, I've really got to go to the bathroom. But if we were doing math class, I'd be out of here. But, no, we were doing PE. I love PE so much. I wanted to stay in. I wanted to play with the parachute so bad. So I stuck with it, and I remember it was when my arms went all the way up, when we were throwing the parachute up, that it happened. My whole body just relaxed, and there we go. I crapped my pants in kindergarten. And I was so embarrassed. I didn't tell anyone. I was just like, I can just pretend. This is the last class before I have to go home. My mom will come to pick me up. I'm gonna go home, and then I can fix this. That day, my mom was not picking me up. Instead, she got someone else's mom to pick me up. And it was, there were these two twins in my class. They were, I can't remember their name, but, I got in the car, and, I've got this filth in my pants, and I'm thinking, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I don't want this to happen again. I want this to be over. I finally, no one says anything. It's a very quiet ride, and I get out of the car, and I heard one of the twin girls go, "Ew, he stunk," as they drove away. And that was so embarrassing for, someone in kindergarten. I got home, I'm like, "Mom, I pooped my pants." So, I had to throw away the pants, and, from then on, it's one of those things that are hard to live down when you're young, but when you get older, you realize, that every kid craps his pants when he's in elementary school at some time, and if you don't, you're either lying, or you're not a very trustworthy person. How can I trust someone who hasn't crapped their pants in elementary school? Alright, and enough with the poop talk. Let's go on to the third and final story. Alright, so this next one isn't so much a story as it is someone coming to me for advice. It's a bit of a darker tone to the other stories that I've read, but let's just go on with it. Story number 3. Alright, so I know you wanted stories, but you said advice too, so whatever, here it goes. I've been dating this girl for about 4 months now, and last week I found out that she smokes. It bugged me at first, but I got over it. Then I found out she might be doing drugs because her friends said that they both have before. I don't want to get involved in that kind of stuff, and I really like this girl, but I don't know how to handle the situation. I am in over my head, and when I saw you wanted stories, I thought that this might be the way to go. Any response would help. I just need some insight. P.S. Keep up what you're doing. Loving the Halo 4 stuff. Well, first off, thank you. I've been working hard on making this content for you guys. And as far as asking advice, absolutely ask me advice. Ask me advice, ask me questions, share a story, anything that you have that you think might be of interest. Or even if you're like this guy and you just want some help, by all means, send me a message and I'll do what I can. So let's start out with your problem. So you've been dating a girl for 4 months and you found out that she smokes. And I'm assuming that you know this for certain. And then your girlfriend's friend said that she is doing drugs with her. Now, right off the bat, this is just hearsay. Find out for sure. Confront your girlfriend and say, look, I have to ask you, this is what your friend said. Is it true? And, don't try to interrogate her. Be calm, approach her kindly, and just ask her straight up and up front, are you doing any drugs? And as far as how to move on from there, whether or not she is doing drugs, if she is, then is there anyone in your life that you feel you can really trust? Whether it's a counselor, a teacher, a parent, especially if you have parents that you really trust, go to them. Tell them that this is a problem that you have, that you need them to help you. And I guarantee you, they will give you much more help than I can, because I'm sitting behind my computer miles away. There's nothing that I can do except for try to give you advice, and that's what I'm doing right here. So you have to find out for sure. You can't say, oh, her friend said she does drugs, so she definitely does drugs. You have to figure out whether or not that's true. How close is that friend to your girlfriend? I mean, are they really close? Are they BFFs or whatever? Or are they just sort of like acquaintances? And as far as not wanting to get involved with that stuff, I mean, you've made a good choice with that. And if she is doing drugs, you have one of two options. Either try to get out of that situation or try to help her get out of that situation. Because it sounds to me like this is something that you are really not interested in, that you want no part in. So you have to figure either a way out for you or a way out for both of you. I really wish I could give you more help with this, but, there's only so much I can do. I really wish you the best and hope that you find your answer. And, if you need any more advice at any time, feel free to send me a message. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have a story, or if you have a question, or if you need advice, send me a message and I'll see if I can put in the next episode. So, I'm still trying to establish what this series is going to be, whether it's going to be weekly or monthly or whatever. It all depends on you guys and what you guys feel is right for this. So, give me feedback. Until next time, this is Foster the Canadian, saying see ya.